Hey guys, it's OKB and welcome to the Rise of Kingdoms offer where you can get up to $757 by reaching City Hall 25. In other words, get tier 5 troops, but I recommend you do the 200 in total offer, which is getting tier 4 troops. If you do go for the tier 5 troops, it's going to cost some money, but it's doable, right? And you have like 25 days to do it right now. And it could change depending on the website. But first, I'm going to show you the strategy on my phone, not on my computer. But first, where do you actually get this offer, right? So in the description of this video, you will see, in the description of this video, you guys will see a whole bunch of links here. There are websites, and the one that is on right now is FreeCash. But the one on Swagbuck, the one on MyPoints, sometimes Kashkick as well, these websites have this Rise of Kingdoms offer, and then so many people do it, and then they take it off, and then they come back, and it comes in and out. So if you want to, you can sign up through my referral links here, all 4 or 5 of them, right? And then you can check each website every once in a while to see if they have the Rise of Kingdom offer here. However, the one that is currently on with $757 is FreeCash. So click on the link of FreeCash if you want to do it right now. And yeah, FreeCash is the one that pays out with crypto. So once you get to FreeCash, you'll get like a small bonus, I suppose. You click on offers, like when you once you do the sign up bonus and all that stuff, you click on offers, and then you go to, well, you just type in the word rise, search for the word rise, or go to games or whatever and search by highest reward. But either way, right? But yeah, you just type in the word rise, and you should see Rise of Kingdom. Somewhere here might be a little bit different depending on where you are, and there's a couple. Let's see, these are the bottom ones are not good offers, but the top ones are. There's one at $667. Is it desktop? Yeah, I think it's desktop. Oh no, this is iPhone. Okay, so it's iPhone, right? And then you have another one at iPhone, which is not as good. Oh, this one only unlocks to. Okay, no, this one is the same thing as the other offers, except it's missing one tier 5 troop. So this is just worth doing as well, right? $165, pretty good still. And if you do, if you play well, it's not that difficult. And then we come to the $757 in Android, and depending on your location, it could be up or down. But yeah, the first milestones are pretty easy to do. Complete the tutorial. Level 8 you can do in 1 day. Level 12 you can do in 2 days. Level 3 troops maybe like 5 days. Purchase a 30-day gem pack, which you should wait. You should wait until level. So you can use a 50% off coupon in your pack, but you have to wait. You have to get to a certain level before you get that coupon. So make sure to wait before you actually buy it, and then it's $5, right? And then you get $6, so that's a $1 profit, and it helps you with all the other offers, which is nice. Reaching 1 million power takes a while, maybe like 2 weeks. No, maybe 2 weeks. 1.5, maybe 2 weeks, and I mean, it depends. It depends on how good you are. It could be 3 weeks, but probably less than 3 weeks. It's like 2 weeks and a couple days. 2 million power, it's good stopper, but it's somewhere around 3 weeks, close to 3 weeks, pretty much. And then tier 4 truce is also somewhere around 3 weeks. It's possible that you'll reach this before you reach that. And this is typically where I tell you to stop. All right, you need to reach level 21 City Hall and level 21 Research Center to unlock tier 4 troops. Any level 4 tier 4 troops, okay? Now, getting to tier 5 troops require level 25, which is a whole different league. That's why they're giving you $585 for this, and $100 for that, $585 for this, because it's pretty much guaranteed that you're gonna have to spend money on. It's pretty much guaranteed you just have to spend money. And as for how you should spend, you literally just go to World Chat in the game and ask, "What's the best thing to buy if I have $20?" And then they'll tell you, "What's the best thing that I should buy if I get $50?" And they'll tell you. Aside from the 30-day gem pack, which is awesome, you should try to also get from the Minamoto the Commander. He's in VIP chests and stuff. So those are like the first instructions I can give you if you want to spend money, right? But yeah, this is the offer that you're gonna get on FreeCash. Now there's for the other websites, MyPoints and Swagbuck. So MyPoints would be this. You click on the referral link here. It gives you like a $5 bonus if you sign up through the link. So do that. So you go to deals, and then if the deal is there, you would go to category entertainment. And then you should be trying to find the Rise of Kingdom offer, right? Just look for a picture that looks like Rise of Kingdom, which is usually this picture right here. Okay, and Swagbucks is the same thing. Click on the link there, go to Discover and Games. and you want to probably search from like max to min, because Rise of Kingdom pays a lot. Sometimes they have a different type of offer and it pays more, because you don't want to go all the way. And yeah, I've seen it at a couple $100, so pretty good. And then we also have Kashkick, which is United States only, and it's even more simple. Like, you literally just click on this, go in, and then they show you a bunch of games. Even if you don't pick Rise of Kingdoms, Kashkick, like every single offer on Kashkick is a good offer. Unlike Swagbucks and MyPoints, which has a lot of bad offers, but also a lot of good offers, and you have to like look through all of them and spend all this time and energy. Kashkick actually picks out the good ones for you already, and they have an offer on every single one. And some people redo the offer on this separate website. You know, that's up to you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's where you get the offer. And now I'm going to show you the strategies on my phone on how you should do this offer, what you should look for. I can't explain to you one for a single hour for everything, but these should be really good tips. I've made a lot of accounts just testing this out, so let's get into it.
Hey guys, I forgot to mention, you need to, from the very beginning, you need to choose whether you're going to have 2 accounts or not. You can make a second account later on, but it's not going to be as helpful. And you guys can see here, I have like 2 accounts. They're both pretty strong and they're supporting each other, right? There's many benefits to this. They can attack NPCs together, make things faster. You can get more resources and send it to each other, and you should be in the same alliance. Now, if you choose to do this, and if you choose not to, then just skip ahead, and just do your solo thing, just skip ahead a couple minutes. But if you choose to do this, I suggest you go, like, you start a supporting account. So you start the account, you don't start the offer yet. You start one account, and you're gonna need 2 Google accounts for this, or 1 Facebook, 1 Google. It's up to you, right? But you need to start an account before you even start the offer. And you've gotta play for a couple days in one of those kingdoms. And on the bottom right, you guys can see I've zoomed out, right? Once I've zoomed out on the bottom right, you wanna click that world thing, and you guys can see all the kingdoms. Each kingdom is different, it's a different world. You can only interact with people in the same world, right? So if I scroll all the way to the top, I'll see the newest world. Every week or so, I think a new world comes out. And so before you even start the offer, you would create an account and level up to level 7 at most. Do not go past level 7. And then you would immigrate over. Immigration literally means going from one world to the other. There's some restrictions. Obviously. You need a beginner's immigration, and too many people can't do this to one place, right? And I mean, that's basically it. So you create a supporting account first. Then you level everything up to level 7. You train as many troops as you can. You send those troops out to gather as many resources as possible. And then once a new world comes out, because you guys can see, it's 4 here, 4 here. This is only the first one. Once like the second world comes out from here, you would immigrate to that second world. And then you would start the offer from FreeCash or MyPoints or something, because they automatically send you to the newest kingdom, right? And now once you start that offer, and once you start that new city that you need to get to, level 10, 15, get 2 million power, get tier 4 troops, you'll get a boost for all of that, because now you have a supporting kingdom that is friendly to you. You should be in the same alliance if possible. It's going to start out pretty weak, but you should be in the same alliance if possible, so that you can send resources to each other, and you should put those cities next to each other at all times, and also name them like the same name. My name was like Gnome Cat Sambo and Gnome Cat Ultra, so that people know that these 2 cities are together. And then if they attack one city, the other city is going to fight back as well, right? It prevents people from attacking you so easily. People are still going to attack, but you at least protect yourself. Okay, so remember, here's the steps. Create the account. Create an account on the game first, and you need 2 Google accounts or 1 Facebook or 2 Facebook accounts. It's up to you. And then get it to level 7. Wait for the new kingdom to come out, and you can find the new kingdom by scrolling out and then clicking on the world thing here. And then once you see a new kingdom count, you start the offer, and then you support that offer kingdom, the kingdom that you're supposed to get all these achievements at to get money from, with this supporting account that you've already created several days ahead. Okay, this is the ultimate method. You can even put like 3, 4, 5 accounts if you want, but I recommend just having 2, just not to spend too much time on this. Okay, let's get on to the strategies, and I also have a list that you guys can download. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna summarize this as quickly as possible, and if you have any questions, go ahead and ask in the comments, right? You need to get to tier 4 or tier 5 troops. Tier 4 is for the free-to-play version. You get $100-something, but you don't spend any money, right? It's possible. Getting to tier 5 without spending money is basically impossible. Maybe it's possible if you like spend all day on it, but people don't have that kind of time, all right? So what does it look like? Well, let's go to research. If I go to research, you guys will see that you need to get here. You need to get one of these, right? One of these tier 4 troops. In order for you to pass and get the $100-something. But to get that tier 4 troop, you need to do research, right? There's so much research you need to do before that. And in order for you to get to do research, you need to build up the building first, because a lot of the research requires a high level building. Well, overall, you just need to get your city hall up to level 21 for the free-to-play version, and level 25 if you want to get all $700-something. But you should expect to spend money if you're trying to get to level 25 and getting that 700 something in total dollars. I will put a link to what you should buy depending on how much money you're willing to spend to try to finish that offer. But I'm going to show you this in the free-to-play version where you don't spend any money and get to get $100-something for the tier 4 troops, right? Because there's two versions to play. First thing you want to think about is having 2 accounts. So you guys can see I have 2 accounts, one here and one here. They're out to help each other. This is my recommended setup. You could do a 3rd account if you want as a farm. The farm basically, you gather a whole bunch of resources and send it to yourself. But I would not recommend having 3 equal accounts because it just takes too much time. But I highly recommend you do 2 equal accounts. All right. So when you first start out, you go for either China or Britain, in my opinion, because China gives you good building speed. So in the beginning, it's good boost. And the commander's not too bad. It's good for player versus player, but you're trying not to fight other players because you can lose a lot of stuff when you do that. On the other hand, you also have Britain, which is, Britain is basically, it has a good commander that is good for fighting barbarians, but the civilization buffs are just okay. And once you get to level 10 to 13, somewhere around there, you have a chance to change it. And so if you're in Britain, I suggest you use that free change once you get to level 10 to 13 and change to China so you can get building speed. All right. So those are the 2 methods right off the bat when you first start out. On day 1, I recommend you get to level 10, especially if you're on China, maybe level 9 if you're on Britain. All right. And day 2, I suggest you get to level 12 you just try to get to level 12 if you can. Getting to level 13 is a little bit difficult because it's just so many buildings to build up. But yeah, those are the first 2 days, and they're important. Now, you guys can see City Hall here requires resources and it requires speed ups, time, right? If I want to upgrade a building, it requires a whole bunch of time. For example, if I want to upgrade this guy, it requires 2 days. You guys can see on the bottom right, it says upgrade 2 days and 3 hours, which means we want to have all sorts of buffs to reduce how much time we need to build up this building. We also need a ton of resources, and you need both. That's basically the entire thing about this game. You need either resources or time, and that just increases how powerful. That basically allows you to grow at a faster rate compared to everyone else if you have these sorts of buffs for time or resources. There's a lot of ways to do this, but I'm only going to cover the stuff that is most important. All right. Now, one is you have these buildings in the tutorial will tell you this, but you have buildings inside that produce resources, which is fine. You can go out and gather resources. For example, this is stone, yay. And then you can also attack neutral units. For example, here's a fort. And this is kind of why I recommend you have 2 accounts. It's because if no one else is on and you want to do a fort, you can attack a fort with your 2 accounts together, because a fort requires at least 2 players in the same alliance. And alliance matters a ton. So alliance is probably one of the most important things, if not the most important. You want to try to get your power level up as much as possible for the alliance so that you can be in the alliance and be powerful, and everyone around you is powerful and they will support you, especially when you fight these forts. These forts are one of the best ways to get resources and time, right? Speed ups. We call them speed ups. So you get resources, you get speed ups. These keys give random stuff, and then gems. Gems is kind of like you can spend it on almost anything resource, which is kind of nice. And then there's a couple other things that you don't have to worry too much about. Now, you kind of know what this game is about now, right? You just want to build up to level 21. You need to build the City Hall to level 21 so that you can build the Academy to level 21 so that you can research all the way up to tier 4 and then you finish your offer, $100-something. Or if it's or I think it's over here, you need to get to somewhere over here if you want to get the full $700-something, right? That's tier 5. It takes a lot more time. Towards the end, it starts taking days. You need like days of speed ups and a lot of more resources, millions of resources. So, pick your route, all right? You need to stick to that route. If you try to go off of that route, it might get difficult. Okay, so I've kind of showed you what this game is about. Now, alliances are really important. You try not to fight players. Do not attack cities. Okay, that's the number one beginner mistake. If you attack cities, a lot of your troops will be permanently dead. If you attack anything else like barbarians, then your troops will go to the hospital and you can revive some of them back to full health. For example, I can attack with 2 of my commanders here. All right, I'm going to attack with my commanders. These commanders send out troops to attack these guys, and then they give some resource rewards and maybe a little bit of speed ups, which is time, all right? But there's also commander experience. So we got to talk about the commanders because the commanders give, a lot of bonuses. There's 2 things to know about commanders, 2 main things, anyways. One is skills, which is the things here, all right? There's 5 skills. Once you get to level 10, you can use stars to upgrade your commander to the 2nd star, and you can upgrade the 2nd thing. Once you get to level 20, you can use stars to upgrade to level 3 through the 3rd star, and you get the 3rd ability, and then you have the 4th ability. And once you finish all 4 abilities, you can get the 5th ability, which is like a super ability, super upgrade ability. All right, most people don't get there though. By the time you finish the offer, most likely you won't get there, but you can get pretty close. Right, your starter commander will probably get pretty close. Now, your level also allows your commander to get more troops, to command more troops. Your City Hall also allows your commander to bring more troops out. And if you have more troops out, you can fight stronger enemies. And if you fight stronger enemies, you can get more resources and time to build up your entire city. So you kind of know what it is now. On the top, you have you have food. Food and wood is the most basic, and then stone gets harder. You use less stone, but it's also harder to get stone. And then gold is special in that you need it for research. It's a specialty sort of item. And then you have gems, which you can use for almost anything. Almost anything. Now, I've kind of mentioned, right? Day 1, you want to get to like level 9, 10. Day 2, you want to get to level 12. But you also want to try to get to a really good alliance. And when you have an alliance, I suggest you have... you only use your beginner teleports for the alliance that you think you're going to stay for a while. Now, if you don't have that, then it might be hard if you're still a beginner and trying to teleport, because then you're going to have to use a really expensive type of teleport called what is this called? Where's this? Speed ups, boosts, other. Yeah, there we go. You're going to have to use a targeted teleport, which costs a lot of gems. So, there's also another type, a purple type of teleport that it costs way less, and you can only use it when your alliance has territory. My alliance currently has territory, but when you first start out, you're going to be in an alliance that does not have territory, so it's going to cost a lot to move around, and you have a limited number of beginner teleports. So don't teleport around like just try not to teleport around too easily, right? Okay, the other thing you want to do when you first start out is explore. When you explore, you send your scouts out you just send your scouts out and then you can do stuff. Let's see. For example, explorations. This is a log. Like, use tribal villages that give you a whole ton of resources and commander experience. Now, if you have commander experience, you can upgrade your commanders. Your commanders get stronger, and there's talents, right? There's different kinds of talents, there's different kinds of skills. So I mentioned the skills earlier. The talents, on the other hand, are vast. It's a big range. Each commander has 3 versions of talents. So integration is the type, skill is another type, and peacekeeping is another type. Peacekeeping is especially good against barbarians. Now, when you actually do fight barbarians, I'm gonna skip a lot of the basic details because you're gonna eventually learn about it. But when you do fight barbarians, I suggest you go out and send out 2 troops to fight barbarians at the same time if you can, and you want to kind of make sure that they have the peacekeeping. Let's see. So I'm gonna send her out, and then a second commander, like him out, so that both of them will get experience when. All right, here's the level 12. I'm gonna hit multi, 1, 2, and have them attack this guy. And you will see that all 4 of these commanders will get some commander experience. And that commander experience is used to upgrade how many, to increase how many troops you can send out at one time, but also you can get a talent. And there's so many really powerful talents. Now, of all the commander with these sort of trees, you guys can see, for example, this one has gathering, which increases how fast you gather. Like 30% is a huge amount, so it's a huge deal. And if you get them to a high level, you can even try to get them to give you extra resources when they finish gathering resources. That's a very useful skill, right? This is why having these tome of knowledges, or like just experience books, is really useful, because you can put that on a lot of gathering commanders and you can gather a lot more resources a lot faster, and you get a lot of extra resources on top of that if you get to level 30, right? Now, the gathering resource types are the blue types, most of the blue types. This one has gathering, this one has gathering, this one has gathering, but this one does have gathering if you wanted to, but this one has mobility. So if you have a mobility tree here, this increases march speed, and march speed is helpful because you can actually go out. Oops. All right, you can actually go out and collect buffs, temporary buffs, but really useful buffs for all sorts of stuff. Let's see. Oh, here's one. For example, this increases your gold production by 10%, which is a good amount. But there's also, the most important part is going to be building speed and research speed. Why? Well, if you take a look at how much time it takes to upgrade these freaking buildings, especially at a high level. For example, I want to upgrade my academy to level 19. This takes 2 days and 3 hours. So that's a lot of speed ups that you're gonna have to use. If I have like a 4% or maybe let's say 5% building speed increase, then I would probably have a couple hours off of, like, maybe 3 hours. I have to spend 3 less hours building this stuff, and you only have 25 days to do this offer. So you need to use speed ups, you need to collect speed ups, but you also need to have these bonuses, these building percentage bonuses, and research speed bonuses too, because some of these cost a humongous amount of time. For example, this costs 13 hours. If I have 5% off that, it's like 1/20, it's like an hour or so. This one, 6 hours. When I had to do this one, this cost several days, and so several days, what's 5% off several days? I don't want to do this math, but just know that it's a bunch of hours, right? So percentage boosts from those runes are really important, and you get the best runes from being in an alliance that is nearby these centers, right? Like with this level 2 thing here is probably one of the best until they unlock level 3. Then that's even better. But you should at least try to be around one of these guys when you're gathering resources. You can see that this dark green area is rich with resources, so it has a higher level resource. You can stay there longer, but also it has those higher level runes, which is really important for building and research, but also maybe sometimes training speed is really helpful. Just a lot of really good bonuses, right? That's really important. Okay, but yeah, that's why you need mobility, because those runes come randomly. Like a building rune might be on level 2, but it might be on level 1 somewhere else only. And that's why I like to have 2 commanders on mobility. One is the Dragon Lancer. The green version is the easiest to get. You guys can see here he has a skill that allows cavalry to gain 10% march speed. To collect a rune, you only need 1 cavalry, so you just send 1 cavalry over there and collect the rune and get the buff. It's a temporary buff for a while, right? And you also get talents on mobility. This one increases march speed by 6%. This one march speed by 3%. This one by another 3%. Just increase march speed, because it takes literally, like, some of them take even like 10 minutes to get there. And having, 22% faster speed well, reduce that amount by a couple minutes. You're not going to be online all the time. So, mobility is going to be useful here. Okay, so I've talked about gathering and mobility, and now let's talk about combat. So there's two types of combat you want to think about. One is barbarians, peacekeeping. All right, if you have this peacekeeping, it's awesome. Skill is good for everything. Any and every skill. If any commander has skill, it's good because, and you want to set it up to get up to rejuvenate, right? Now I have peacekeeping because I want to fight barbarians. Peacekeeping number 1, but skill number 2, right? Now, if you're gonna fight players, you actually want to fight players, but most of the time you don't because you just want to. Like when you fight players, you lose a lot more troops. Some might die, some might get wounded, and it's gonna cost some time and resources to get them back on their feet. So you kind of want to. You kind of want to stay away from that, but you also need to have enough power to protect yourself. So skill's the most powerful tree, in my opinion, for pretty much any commander that has skill. You can also have leadership is okay. It's not the best. I don't know if I can. Let's try to find another. Let's see. Integration's okay. Support is okay. Skill. There's a lot of commanders that have skill, right? It's because it's one of the best trees. Attack is also decent, but skill is just generally better. You're gonna get a whole bunch of random commanders too because of the tavern, because you can get a lot of keys and you can unlock those keys in the tavern here, and they will give some commanders, but it's at random, and so you'll sometimes get this commander and someone else gets another commander. However, the one set commander that you really want to pay attention to when you're fighting against barbarians specifically, so if you start with Britain, you get this girl, right? If you start with, you can get a Lohar through an event, I think in the first 1 or 2 weeks from when you start. And this is really important because during the Lohar event, whenever you attack barbarians, you have a chance of getting a necklace, and the necklace has a chance of getting a mini boss. You can get a mini boss item where you can summon a mini boss, attack him, and then win. Okay, and then you can get fragments of this guy. And if you get more and more fragments of this guy, you can increase his skill. And his skills are really good against barbarians. Like I maxed out the damage, so I can deal 35% more damage. That's against barbarians, which is insanely powerful. But also the mystery skill, which you'll learn during the combat, but it's also really helpful. And then you also have this Lohar's Trial passive skill, which increases the amount of experience you get from attacking barbarians. Well, as you guys can see, I can actually attack barbarians outside here. Let's go out here. I can take these two and have them attack a barbarian at the same time. So, for example, this, and all 4 commanders, because there's a primary commander and there's a secondary commander. All 4 commanders will get a whole bunch of experience. And during the Lohar event or the supply event, right now it's the supply event, I got a whole bunch of supply boxes. I have twice the chance of getting supply boxes, which have resources and time in them, during those events. And I can do it much faster because I have 2 sets of commanders out fighting at the same time. All right, I can even have 3 or 4 if I want to. I don't know if I have more troops. I don't know if I have enough troops for 3 or 4. But okay, I don't have. But I could separate them into 4 different types of troops and attack 1 barbarian troop, and I get 4 times the reward. Okay, this is one trick that you absolutely should know. And it's also one of the reasons why you want a lot of barbarian type. So it's one of the reasons I picked Britain, because it has the peacekeeping. If it has peacekeeping, it also has this talent under peacekeeping that reduces the amount of action points you use to attack barbarians by 10, which is a lot because there's a limited amount of action points. Action points you guys can see on the over here. You can increase action points. You have some items here. But if you're using 10 less action points for something that costs 50 action points, you're getting a 20% off deal here, and that's really important. And if I want to do it together, like I want 4 different types of troops, well, let me give you an example. Right, I have Boudica is 1, I have Lohar is 2. All right, this guy also has the peacekeeping thing, so he has this. Also you also do want the resource trophy hunter. Trophy hunter gives you resources when you win fighting with this guy as your number 1 commander. Okay, so you have this guy, that guy. I have this fine thing. I don't know how to say this guy, but she also has peacekeeping, so same thing. And then there's also this one that everyone overlooks. Most people overlooks, and that's the markswoman, the green version. The green is the weakest, but she does have peacekeeping, so you can get her to 3 stars if you want, and like have train 2 commanders at the same time and get extra resources at the same time if you want. There are some others. Chow Chow is like one that you may sometimes get at random. There are some other commanders with peacekeeping, but you want to keep an eye out just on these commanders that have peacekeeping. Some of these you'll get at random. I got most of these at random. So, okay. Here's another one for peacekeeping. You can also go Belisarius. I suppose that's another civilization you can start off with if you want. I do kind of like it, but I like Boudica a little bit better. Right? Damage against barbarians. Yeah, I just like Boudica a little bit better. Okay. In terms of combat, I recommended if you want to do player versus player combat, Sun Tzu is China, probably one of the best. And then you add on Minamoto if you're spending money, and if not, someone with a really powerful 1 versus 1 skill, because he basically increases skill damage by up to 20%, and that is a pretty insane amount if you combine it with all the other most powerful skill users, right? Keep in mind some of these attacks are healing. Some of these are area damage, which doesn't deal as much damage to people. And then some of these are 1-on-1, which deals much more damage, right? Dragon Rider, single attack. You hit more damage when you attack a single troop than you do when you attack an area. Okay, so that kind of covers the combat section. Okay, now as for the timeline, I mentioned already that you want to get level 10 day 1, level 12 in day 2, and after that you slow down a little bit, you get resources and do all that sort of stuff, and you want to try to upgrade your power as fast as possible so that you can get into an alliance. You can click on alliance and you can go to the settings and quit anytime. Quit alliance if you want. You can go to alliance list to take a look at all alliances that might be recruiting. Usually they have like a power requirement somewhere. Not always, but oftentimes you're going to need a power requirement. There we go. Minimum power 200,000, right? You want to get to a highest level power alliance as possible. However, if that alliance is getting destroyed, you may want to just quit and move on to the next one. Do not use your beginner's teleport easily, right? Because if you use your beginner's teleport easily and the alliance you go to does not have an alliance fortress, you're going to have to use a very costly sort of teleport in order to actually reach where everyone else is. And you need to reach where everyone else is because when you attack forts, and forts is one of the, it's one of the best experience and resource and some kind of time resource that you, things that you can do, events. You need 2 people to do that, which is why I have 2 accounts at the same time, but also your alliance will help you out with these forts, right? So both your 2 accounts, hopefully you have 2 accounts, 2 phones. If you don't have 2 phones, you can go over here on the top left. You can go to settings, characters, and you can create another account on the same kingdom. So right now I'm on kingdom 3400. You can create another one on the same one and fight together on the same account, or you can use another phone or another account, or you can go on the LD player or BlueStacks on the Rising Kingdoms, and you can play on there instead, which is basically a phone on your computer. Okay, these are the ways that you can create a second account to support yourself. All right, to support yourself, make sure you're strong, make sure that when you fight this, that you can win. And keep in mind, your commanders give damage bonuses to you when your commanders basically improve your troops. So even though this fort says you need 120,000 tier 1 troops, you might only need 80,000 tier 1 troops if you have really good first and secondary commanders. Keep in mind that when you have a commander out here, I'm going to send him back right here. But when you have a first and secondary commander, the talents on the first commander, you only use talents on the first commander. But when you have a secondary commander, for example, if I use Boudica and Frederick, right? Boudica will be the one, the bonuses will come from Boudica's talents. However, the skills of Boudica and the skills of Frederick will be included when I fight, right? But I will not be able to use Frederick's talents All right. As you can see, I like skill, and I think most people like skill. Skill is one of the most important things here because you can use it 2 times when you're fighting with 2 commanders. Keep in mind, you can only use fight with 2 commanders when you have 3 stars, and you can only have 3 stars when you reach, I think, level 10 or 20. It's up to you. There's a little trick there where you can, because there's a chance of you doubling the number of stars you can use when you try to upgrade the stars, which makes it possible for you to get 3 stars when you're level 10. But in general, you need to upgrade these guys anyways. So you want to use those tomes of knowledges to upgrade, increase the unit capacity when you send out troops, and also when you get talent points for each level, you can upgrade, especially skill, right, or peacekeeping for all your commanders. So keep in mind, there's gathering, there's mobility, and then there's fighting against players, and there's fighting against neutrals. We prefer the neutrals, which is peacekeeping, but sometimes you need to fight against players. Okay, guys. This is the basics of what you need to do. All right, so the schedule is to, after getting level 10, 12, and so on, you try to get to level 16 for tier 3 troops. And tier 3 troops are much more powerful. But they also cost a little bit more. They also cost, this is like a milestone, I suppose, which is, so this is tier 2 troops, right? That's one of the things you want to get ASAP. Here's tier 3 troops, which is level 16. And then once you get to level 16, you want to upgrade a lot of your troops. Eventually get to tier 4 so that you can finish this offer. All right. There's too much stuff in this game, so you can go and ask in the comments, or ask in the game, or ask your alliance questions about this game. Or you can just, leave a comment in the video. I'll try to answer what everything is there. But this should cover most of what you should know. All right, hop around alliances, and don't try to fight other players too much. It hinders your progress. Even if you win the fight, you will lose some resources and time that you could spend fighting neutral units. Now, it's 25 minutes. I'm going to cut it off here. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions and stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff in this game. I definitely understand. You might be confused in the beginning. So if you have questions, just ask. Okay. Okay. I'm probably making a new guide on this every year or so. Next game offer, I'm not quite sure yet. We'll figure it out. Maybe could be ants, could be something else. Could be dice. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. The Discord is in the description below. I'm also going to put some links in the description of this video to help you out. Just kind of like a directional guide that you guys can take a look at. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.